Hello everyone and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk to you again about Tiger Woods. And I have been pretty vocal about the whole Tiger Woods arrest. First of all, I think it's a lousy case for the state. I think there has been, I think the press in particular has been very quick to want to crucify Tiger, and it is not right. I was a prosecutor in Palm Beach County from 1994 to 1999. And I spent at least a couple of years in county court, which is where we prosecute misdemeanors, including these kinds of cases that Tiger's involved in. And when I was a division chief, and I was the chief of two different divisions, once a month, it was my responsibility to file all of the DUI cases in the office, unless, of course, it was, something where there was a traffic homicide. I didn't touch those cases. But a case like Tiger's case, if it was in Palm Beach County, would have come across my desk. And I've looked at this case, at least the evidence that's available, the probable cause affidavit, all these videos, and I'm sorry, I just don't see it. There is zero evidence that Tiger was impaired. And I know they've made a big deal about the fact that he had pills in his pocket. So what? He had pills in his pocket. How does that connect to the accident? Which Tiger, even said, I was distracted. I was, playing with my phone, and I clipped the back end of this trailer, and it caused his car to flip. And so I think this needs to stop. Okay, stop jumping to conclusions. Our legal system isn't built that way. If a jury ultimately convicts him, well, that's a different story. But he's presumed innocent. But it's not just sort of the everybody saying, well, he's guilty, right? Now we're seeing, some folks that are supposed to be supportive of him. Here we go. I'm going to put a link to this article in the description for the video. Nick Faldo, a 3-time Masters champion, is unloading on Tiger, criticizing him for the car crash for which he was charged with DUI on a recent media call. Faldo also went off on the PGA Tour for not holding Tiger accountable. Accountable for what? It said days after Tiger announced he would be stepping away, because there was, I guess Tiger has gone abroad to seek treatment, the PGA Tour and Masters announced their support for Woods and praised him for his difficult decision. But Faldo sees the situation differently. In the media call this week, which was reported by The Independent and The Times, among other outlets, Faldo criticized Woods and organizations that offer their support to the 15-time major winner. He called the PGA Tour's reaction predictably weak. So here we have somebody who has a substance use disorder, okay? He's going to get help for it voluntarily, which is incredibly difficult, okay? And now we're going to chastise him for it. We're going to, and anybody that supports him, they're predictably weak. I'm sorry, but this is not right, okay? And Nick Faldo, who knows nothing about this kind of case, a criminal case involving a DUI, who knows nothing about substance use unless somehow he's become an expert, and he's criticizing, stick to playing golf, Nick. That's what you should be commenting on, not this kind of stuff. Okay, when you've sat in my shoes and filed DUI cases, when you've represented hundreds of families and spoken to thousands of families who are dealing with this issue, then you can pile on. I'm sorry, this is not right, and Tiger should enjoy the support of everybody if he has a problem. And as far as that criminal case is concerned, I'll tell you, if that came across my desk, I wouldn't even file it. There's zero evidence to support it. However, my guess is it's going to get filed, well, because it's Tiger, and apparently there's some connection between Tiger and the president. Okay, and this is not a pat you on the back for the president. Truthfully, I don't care what your political affiliations are. But there is zero evidence that Tiger was impaired. Now, if he has a problem and he's addressing it, we should pat him on the back and support him. We should not be criticizing. And, sometimes this is the dilemma that a family deals with when they call us. What do they do? Do they pat their loved one on the back and say it'll be okay? Or do they say, no, tough love, get the hell out of the house? And I get that dilemma. But here's the deal. Unless somebody goes to treatment and addresses the issue, things only get worse. Okay? And when somebody is not capable of making the decision to save themselves, and I don't know if Tiger went because his lawyer told him to go, we don't know any of that stuff, and we probably never will, but that's not the point. The point is, if you've got a loved one and they cannot make the decision to save themselves because they have a disease, and part of the disease means they have a difficult time acknowledging they have a problem, so how do you expect them to save themselves, right? Then somebody has to make that decision for them. Who's it going to be? Now, the state is stepping in here, right? When Tiger gets arrested for DUI, that's the state stepping in. And if ultimately Tiger gets convicted, either after trial or as part of a plea, it may be that as a condition of some resolution of the case, he has to go successfully into treatment. That's the state making the decision for him. Now, I do a lot of work getting people out of the Baker Act, and we use it when we need to, if it's done, correctly, offensively, to save somebody. Okay, but the state can also step in through the mental health system and take somebody that way. If at all possible, we don't want the state stepping in. Okay, in my experience, the state does not take good care of people. We want the family to be able to do it. Okay, that's what we do. We empower the family. We save the family so you can make the decision. Okay, because if your loved one could make the decision to save themselves, they would do it. They cannot. Okay, so if you want to reach out to us because you're a family dealing with this issue, and maybe it's pain pills, maybe it's alcohol, maybe it's a combination of both. We're seeing a ton of cases involving marijuana, and now there's all kinds of craziness going on with kratom, which is another street opioid that's apparently readily available. If you're a family dealing with this issue and you want to talk to us about what options may or may not be available, both legal and non-legal, then reach out to us. We're happy to talk to you. And if there's an issue going on in your family, and I haven't made a video about it, let me know. I will make you a video, because if it's affecting your family, it's affecting other families, and this content is all about getting you the information that you need so you can make a decision as to which way you want to go. If you like this content, please give me a thumbs up. If you want more of this that I make every day for you, even while I'm on vacation, subscribe to the channel. And with that said, thank you for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.